So this is a quick video on kit bashing a couple of Khorne Berzerkers. So what we've got here are a bunch of loose Blood Warriors of Khorne from Age of Sigmar. And I had originally gotten these for the heads. I wanted to use the heads for the Berzerkers straight out. But when I got them used and I finally looked at them, I really like them. I think they look really nice with the Khorne signatures. They've got the Khorne little logos here hanging from their armor. The axes are all Khorne based. The logos on the side of them are Khorne symbolism. And really, I like these models a lot. So instead of ripping the heads off, what I've been doing is turning them into Berzerkers as well. So essentially, this is going to be a video on how to kit bash these into Space Marines while taking the bodies from our Shadowspear box that we ended up not using, the melee guys, and we're going to turn them into Berzerkers as well, or at least World Eaters. So effectively, when we built them, we didn't include a head because, of course, the head was going to come from these guys. Now, I do have a few old Berzerker heads lying around. They're not the nicest. They're the skull ones, and I wasn't never a really big fan of those. But at this point in time, because I like these units so very much, I think I'm going to settle for using these on our Shadowspear guys. But for a very good Berzerker, what we want is 2 melee weapons with an axe and a sword. Essentially what goes on is you don't want pistols in your Berzerkers for the simple fact that when you fire the pistols, they remove the models closest to you and then you can't make your charge. So you want as much melee combat so you can make your charge, and of course these guys fight twice in combat. So trading an up-close attack for a pistol attack is just not very efficient. So essentially all we've been doing today is removing the bolt gun from the Space Marines and swapping for one of the 2 axes on the Blood Warriors, and then replacing the missing axe with one of the 3,000 chainswords that we have lying around. Because we usually build our Space Marines with bolt guns, the chainswords collect like crazy. So we're cleaning those off and using those on our Blood Warriors. So the first thing we're going to do is carefully remove one of the 2 axes. Now, I usually remove the, aesthetically, whichever one I think looks nicer. In this case, I think I'm going to put the sword in this hand and I'll leave this axe because that's an easier one to cut than this one is down here. So we'll probably remove that one. We want to use a hobby knife. We could use the pliers, but what it ends up doing is crushing the base of the axe, and we want to save the axe to use on the other model. So we're going to take it off with the hobby knife. Just like so. And then we have a nice smooth cut here, see? That we can work with. We'll take the bottom half of the knife off, or the axe. And then effectively does that. So now we're going to get a chainsword to put there. So we'll put these 2 pieces aside for now. And I've been using the ones that have a glue point on either side because of course we have a raw spot on either side. So we're just cutting those 2 out, and that frees up a hand to use later with another weapon of some sort. So all we're going to do is same thing with our hobby knife. Just slowly cut those out. And then same with the other side. Like so. And of course that leaves us an extra hand that if we want to dual wield plasma pistols or something down the road we can, because we've got a left-handed gun hand now. But more importantly what we wanted was this. Now I find the Blood Warriors' hands are a little bit wider than the Space Marines are, so that doesn't always slide over nicely. So we're just going to trim this one down a little tiny bit to make some room. So all we did was cut both pieces flush, and now they should slide right over there like so without too much trouble. So a little bit of plastic glue here and there, and then we'll use the shaft of the glue, because that's way too much. We'll spread some on our knife blades, making the whole thing on both parts tacky. We'll leave it for a few seconds, and then when both of them are sticky, we'll just connect the two. In the meanwhile, we're going to remove this pistol, and we're not interested in keeping it, so we can use the pliers here and cut it straight out. Like so. Now we're just going to trim that down and clean that up in a little bit. Just like so. Now the other thing we're going to do here is we're going to take our drill bit and we're going to drill a little tiny indent where that axe blade, that axe shaft is going to go, and it helps the glue catch on a little bit better. Just like that. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Like so. Take a little bit of our hobby glue. And then we'll take our axe blade back. So there's our axe in place now. We'll just wait for that glue to dry. In the meanwhile, we also attached the chainsword to this guy. So that gives us two more Khorne Berzerkers with an axe and a sword. It's not a power axe, or it's not a chain axe, but it's still a very cornate axe, and I really like it. It's all GW parts, so I think it's still viable. So we'll put the head on. Some type of aesthetically pleasing position, and we'll let all that dry, and we'll put him on a base. Now to finish making these guys Space Marines, all we're really missing are backpacks. So any spare backpacks you have lying around, we're just going to add glue, affix them on the back here, and that'll be close enough to count as Khorne Berzerkers. So we'll do that now, and we'll meet back here in a few minutes. Now, a few of these guys are missing shoulder pads, so we're just going to take a couple of spares we have lying around and just glue those on. Just like so. We'll add the backpack, like so, and we've got basically another set of Berserker Space Marines ready to go. Kitbashed with all GW parts. So we'll leave those there to dry, and we'll see what it looks like in the end. They're looking pretty good so far. As far as the units go, they've got the axe, they've got the blades, they've got shoulder pads on them, and then they've got the backpack. The only other catch is that the backpack here is a Space Marine backpack, and if we want to chaos it up a bit, we'll just add a skull or two of spikes, and we'll mount that right on the top, and that will pretty much establish chaos there for sure. So we'll do that now. So just like that, and then we'll let those dry. But effectively there are our chaos-based Blood Warriors, as well as our Shadow Sphere Space Marines as well. All of which are going to be World Eaters. So we have a full unit there. So at some point in the future, we'll do a painting video for them. Hope you found this video somewhat helpful, or at least interesting. And if so, please feel free to leave a like or a comment. If you're happy with the video or you found it helpful, please feel free to subscribe to the channel. That is a huge help. And we'll see you in our next Kitbash /painting/modeling video.